This is the NES, the console that changed the gaming market forever. It was initially released in 1985 as a trial run in New York City and later in Los Angeles in 1986. They released a deluxe bundle that came with a zapper and Rob the Robot. The official nationwide release of the NES was on September 27, 1986. With it came a host of games to christen the launch of a new console, later to be known as black box games. Now, black box refers to the look of the packaging the games come in. Their distinct look was a black box with a colorful image on the game, along with the title. That's pretty much it. These games were mostly NES releases of pre-existing arcade games, and others were complete originals. No longer would kids have to leave their home to play some of their favorite arcade games. A machine that plays arcade games at home? It was every kid's dream. No long lines, no big kids to bully you out of the way, no more quarters. Now today, we are going to look at some of the games that initially released on the Nintendo Entertainment System. My goal throughout this series, that I am dubbing Nintendo A to Z, is to play and share my experiences with games that I remember from childhood and games that I never had the pleasure to play by decade of release. Now, let's get into it. First up, we have Duck Hunt. Now, this game usually came bundled with the original Super Mario Bros. On what is known as a combo cartridge. It used the zapper, a light gun that came with the NES, though I distinctly remember it being orange and white. I know they released a gray and white version as well, but I'm not as familiar with that one. There are 3 game modes to play. Mode A is a single duck flying on screen. Game B is multiple ducks on one screen, and Mode C was clay shooting. The idea is to shoot all the ducks as they come flying out to get the high score. The more ducks you hit, the higher your score. Shoot a duck, and that cute little pupper pops out to show you your prize. Aww, look at the little fella. Miss a duck, and that little bastard pops out to mock you for missing, saying, "Ha ha ha, you suck. You missed." To shoot the duck, you point the zapper at the screen. When you pull the trigger, the screen flashes black for a split second, and a white box replaces the duck. The zapper detects if you're pointing at the duck or at nothing, and goes from there. Now, I remember the zapper wasn't always 100% correct, and I heard there was a light bulb trick to trick the zapper into thinking you didn't miss. I never saw it, however. I never saw it work. I've never seen it happen. Each round, the duck gets faster and faster. You get 3 shots, miss all 3 shots or take too long, and they fly away. Miss too many ducks and it's game over. Go away! Stop mocking me, you dog! There's over 100 rounds of this mayhem. Same goes for the other game modes. Mode B, like stated before, is the same but 2 ducks instead of 1. And Mode C is clay shooting, or what they call clay pigeons. It's fun to try and shoot them as far away as possible. Ooh, got it! Overall, it's a simple game, but loads of fun. Now, I won't be covering the Super Mario Bros. Mostly because I have a playthrough on my page that you can go see now. Besides, everybody knows Mario, come on. Next up, we have Excite Bike. How exciting! Another classic title. I can still hear the motors revving in my head to this day. Select mode A or B, and away you go. There are 5 tracks in each mode. Both modes share the same tracks. Only difference is mode B lets you race against computer opponents for an added challenge. A accelerates and B uses turbo. Use turbo too much, and your bike overheats, sending you to the sidelines till it cools down. Similarly, if you crash it, it also sends you to the side, making your biker run back to his bike, which reminds me of Road Rash. Remember Road Rash? The courses change up each track, adding grass, overhangs, pyramids, and speed bumps. There are also hazards that slow you down, like oil spills and patches of dirt. The idea is to make it to the top 3 based on how close you come to the track's time. Track 3 goes blue. Whoa! Track 4 turns yellow and adds the aforementioned overhangs and speed bumps. Look at that! I just freaking crashed uphill! Uphill! Look, what a joke. He just crashed into me, now we're both in trouble. Now, we head over where you design new tracks to race on. You can use any ramps or items you see in the 5 tracks, and this is where the chaos begins. You can be mean to your friends and make a track that's horribly frustrating or very hard to beat. No wonder I don't have any friends. All in all, it's a great game, and an unforgettable one. Oh boy, pinball. Uh, what can I say? It's pinball. The D-pad controls the left paddle and the buttons control the right, which makes it kind of confusing. Why not have B control left and A control right? I don't know what they were thinking. Overall, it's basic, but not bad. Now, Stack Up or Robot Block, not to be confused with Robot Rock by Daft Punk, needs Rob the Robot to play. Each command you make flashes the screen, giving a command to Rob to do that specific move. Without Rob, it's unplayable. Man, this thing is gonna give me a friggin' seizure. It would be okay, I guess, if I could play it. I also wouldn't be covering Gyromite for similar reasons. Tennis. You can choose a singles or doubles matchup, pick your level, and away you go. A serves the ball, and A or B hits the ball back, although I never noticed the difference between the two buttons. Yeah, it's tennis. Next. 10-yard fight. What a unique specimen. You choose from high school level all the way up to the Super Bowl, and from what I understand, chooses your difficulty. There's no team selection, field to choose, no players, no coaches, just good old plain and simple gridiron goodness. For the time, I'm sure it was a good game compared to games before, like football on the Atari 2600. Today, it's nothing special compared to what we have to play. Oh my god. They move like a hive mind and look like they're dancing to Thriller. Have you ever seen a black football? Because I never have. Unless it's like a Nerf football. They could have made it brown very easily, but no, they chose black. When they run up screen, it looks like they took a dump in their pants and are running to the bathroom. In closing, nothing to write home about. Baseball. Which team is your favorite? Is it A, C, D, P, R, or Y? I'm gonna choose R. Maybe it's the Red Sox. But probably not. It's not. From what I've learned, different directions on the D-pad and the A button throw different pitches, from curveballs to fastballs. B throws the ball to a base with another player, although I've never figured out how to choose which base. The controls, if you can call them that, are horrible. Once the computer hits the ball, your teammates never catch the ball. When it zooms out, they run like they have shoes filled with cement. They are so slow. Can you please catch the ball? Okay, enough of this garbage. Next is the unexpectedly fun Clue Clue Land. It took me a second to understand the controls, but what you do is, you use the D-pad to swing around these pegs or balls or whatever they are. The A and B buttons both shoot a sonic wave or sonic boom. Sonic boom! That turns your enemies into yellow, and you can squish them against the wall. Ooh, that's how you do it. So barbaric, I love it. It kind of reminds me of Pac-Man, just slightly varied. When you move about the board, you poop out rupees from Legend of Zelda. What? That's what they are. I learned that the rupees actually appear when you move through certain sections of the balls, building a kind of barrier that keeps the enemy at bay. Explore enough and you will start to create a shape. That's the premise of the entire game. First it's a house, then a mushroom, so on and so forth. It's a simple concept, but it gets harder as you go. Definitely unique and fun, and I would highly recommend you give it a try. Oh boy, here we go. Donkey Kong Jr. Math. This is one of those two-player games, so playing it by yourself is pretty pointless. You learn to add, subtract, divide, and multiply numbers to match the numbers in the middle. That's it. Mode B really makes you think harder, but honestly, I don't care enough to do math. Golf. Classic black box golf. This is one of those games that we owned as a kid and I played constantly, though I never really cared enough to learn it thoroughly. The controls are simple. Each of the 18 courses are different, with varying degrees of difficulty. The trick is knowing which club to use at which time. Like here, I don't know how the hell to get out of the sand pit. Oh, come on. Finally, and almost in the next sand pit, like clockwork. Ooh. Oh yeah, right in the hole. I have such a hard time keeping the ball on course, and I think it has something to do with the wind, but it always ends up either in out of bounds or friggin' in the sand pit. Now, with enough practice, it does get easier, but I don't really play golf that much. Anyways, a good game and a great time killer. Hogan's Alley is a great game to test your reflexes. The gameplay is pretty straightforward. Using the zapper, 3 targets slide in, 1 is usually the bad guy and you have to quickly shoot him, testing your reflexes and timing. Game B is a little bit more action-oriented as you're going through a town, shooting the enemies and saving the civilians. You know, this kind of reminds me of that scene from Men in Black when Will Smith is shooting the aliens, or should I say child, in the training program. Each round gets a little bit harder, but nothing too serious. Look at those skills. Good shooting, Tex. Finally, there's Trick Shot. The goal is to shoot the cans, spinning them into each section to get the highest score possible. Not bad, but repetitive. Vanilla Ice Climber. Do. Okay. Climb to the top, beat the bonus round, and move on to the next one. That's all there is to it, but man, is this game fun. The characters are so legendary, they even made an appearance in Super Smash Bros. You use your hammer to hit the Yeti Puff things and those annoying friggin' birds. Get to the top of stage 1, and you have to save those creepy eggplants. Ugh. I think it's looking into my soul. Your jump has to be perfect, or else you fall through. Classic NES unfairness. If I even come close to the platform, why can't I just land on it like a normal person and not face through like a friggin' ghost? Maybe they missed a jump one day, died, got sent to hell, and their punishment is that they have to land every jump perfectly, or else. In level 2, you save carrots? Okay. This game is like a vegetarian's dream. Ice climbers. Vegetarian approved. Whatever you do, do not try to Goomba stomp the enemy. What a disaster. Then, enemies can push ice chunks to fill in the holes you create, just to ruin your day. This spiral-looking floor pushes you back like a conveyor belt. Altogether, classic NES game that still gets loved to this day. And finally for this video, we end with Kung Fu. This game brings back memories of being 8 years old, sneaking into my older brother's room while he was away just to play his NES. Then I forget to change the game back, and he gets mad. Well, anyway, you are a Kung Fu master working your way up this tower from hell to save your girlfriend from Mr. X. Man, I feel like Mr. X is such a generic bad guy name. Like, what does the X stand for? Maybe it's, well, actually I can't think of any X names. If you can, comment them down below. Now, back on track. There are 5 levels, each level consisting of a different boss. Level 2 gets cheap really fast. Oh, come on! I hit that snake! How did I not hit the snake? What the hell is that flying orb? Oh good, it's a death orb. And is that a dragon? Pretty pathetic looking dragon if you ask me. Once you figure out that you can jump over the little snakes, it gets much easier. Level 5 is where you really start to pull out your hair. The enemies come at you non-stop, it feels like you can move 5 inches, then a barrage of enemies come out. Those stupid little kids jump on your head sometimes and I never react fast enough to counter. Oh come on, this is too much! Oh my god, stop! If you do make it to Mr. X, he's the easiest boss ever. Just crouch, low kick his legs, then bam, he's dead. Beat the boss, save the girl. Doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Now today, I just wanted to focus on some of the black box NES games. Join me next time for part 2, where we dive into the other half of this black vortex of NES classics. Thanks for watching.